Well, hello everyone, and today I have with me a very interesting character that I came across online initially, but now we finally meet in Cebu, and this is
Brian.
Brian. Brian of, where do you come from, Brian?
I grew up in the Washington, D.C. area, and I live in the Virginia Beach area right now, but I do a lot of traveling with my work, so I'm rarely there. But it's wonderful to be back here in Cebu City.
Awesome, yeah,
Philippines.
yeah. Now, speaking of work, I believe you have one of the dream jobs of the world.
Well, it's unusual and a little bit different. I teach tennis to the affluent in the United States, and I've been doing it basically for the last 3 decades. So that's my full-time job. I work half the year in southern Florida and the other half of the year in the islands of the Cape Cod Islands, Nantucket, and Martha's Vineyard. So that's what I've been doing the last 30 years, going back and forth.
Awesome. Did you bring a tennis racket with you today?
I did. Well, I didn't bring it to, well, I have it in my room. I didn't bring it up here to the interview.
Yeah.
I apologize. But
I was hoping you could show us how to hold a forehand, you know?
yeah, we could do that in the
The
next.
difference between a forehand and a backhand, you know?
We
Yeah.
can always do that in the next interview.
Yeah, cool. Okay, cool. Now you say you've come to Cebu. You've been here just once or twice over the years?
I've been here a number of times. This is really my favorite city in the Philippines thus far. Obviously, it's a huge country, and I haven't been everywhere. But I started coming years ago. I actually worked for the Goodwill Tennis Tour in 2008, and it was a tour that was set up by Cebuano Luyer, the owner of all the pawn shops here.
Oh, that's like M apostrophe Huyller.
You're a good
Yeah.
speller, better speller than me.
Believe it or not, I was at Cebu Safari Park the other day, and I believe he owns that.
He owns a lot here in the Philippines, and his favorite thing in life is tennis. He wants to grow tennis in the Philippines, so he put this tour together, and I was selected to come with 3 other American tennis professionals for a 1-month tour. We volunteered our time. We did not charge any money at all. We were here to train the Philippine tennis teachers and also conduct free junior clinics for the children in 4 different cities throughout the Philippines. And it was a wonderful time. We were interviewed on ANC Manila and just had a great time here.
Oh, that's
for
awesome.
4
So have
weeks.
you been on the Pro Tour?
When I was a younger man, I played on the Pro Tour for a little bit, and tennis gave me I was very grateful. Tennis gave me a full scholarship to the University of Maryland and helped me earn my 2 degrees for free. So that was a nice,
Oh, that's awesome.
nice thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
So do you want to tell us your ranking, or is that
Well,
pretty deep in the
I
past?
haven't had a ranking in many years. Right now I'm teaching tennis. I basically teach
Yeah,
tennis.
sure.
I haven't played competitively in many years, but
Yeah.
years ago I
Great.
played #1 for my university and had a national ranking.
So are you old enough for the senior circuit yet? Or is
I
there a
don't
senior
know.
circuit?
Well, there is a senior tour. I don't know what it's funny. I asked somebody the other day, what's a senior? And everybody has a different answer for that. But there is age group competition in the United States. So, for example, the best 50 and over players in the country travel to one site and play a national tournament. And I could do something like that in the future. But right now I'm just teaching.
Awesome. Okay. Now, I know you don't just go to Cebu. You also have one other favorite place in the Philippines, as I remember.
Yes, Boracay Island is my sweet spot, and I fell in love with Boracay years ago. I've been there probably at least 8 or 9 times, and it's just a wonderful oasis to me. President Duarte shut this down. I don't know if your viewers are aware of it, but he actually did something very smart a number of years ago. He shut it down for about a year and a half because they were having some issues with their infrastructure, and also it just got so popular. They needed to give it a rest for it to recover.
I remember
with the
watching
environment.
videos on that and how messy and basically filthy
got-
the beach had
it-
become, and full
yeah,
of
it-
hawkers and sellers. And
It became too crowded, and there was no parameter on how many people could come in. So he said, we need to shut this down for at least a year and have it recover. They also did some irrigation things with the water system there, and some of the environmental issues he really fixed. So, and he did widen the roads, and basically nobody was allowed to go there for an entire, I think it was a year and a half.
yeah.
And
sounds right.
I went back after that in 2019, and it was spectacular. So I would recommend now anyone go there. I don't want to share this secret too much with your viewership, but I highly recommend it. It is really a wonderful place. I highly recommend Station 1. There's basically 3 stations for the beach, and Station 1 in general is the nicest part of the beach and the most quiet. So you can stay up there and yeah.
I've just been to Boracay, mainly on Brian's recommendation, I have to say. I'm going to disagree slightly. I'm going to say Station 1 is fine, but I thought Station 2 was not this super active place that people talked about. You know, like the noise was there, but it wasn't terrible. Like
it's not too bad. It's not too bad.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a light sleeper, so Station 1 for me is what does it. But Station 2 is fantastic. I mean, it really is. It's not insane, but it's got more activity than Station 1.
A lot of nice restaurants, a lot of acoustic guitars, which I know you like playing in the restaurants along Station 2 in particular.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah. So I would not shy away from Station 2.
Station 2 is great.
Station
2 is great
not
too.
That terrible, especially if we lived in New York. Okay.
If you're wondering what this song is leading to, I wanna make it with you. I really need.
Okay, so now we're going to come to the main reason a lot of guys come to the Philippines. Where do you fit into that? What do you think the main reason is?
Well, in my opinion, I think a lot of guys come here to look for either a steady girlfriend or a wife.
Yeah.
And
By the way, I don't want to say just guys, because there are some women that come to the Philippines too, right?
That's true.
Yeah.
But I think most would fall into that category. I'm not in that category. I'm happily single. Whenever I see a married couple and they say we're happily married, I say that's wonderful. I'm happily single. Mm-hmm. So right now, I am not looking for a wife or even I would even say a steady girlfriend. I'm actually here on this trip to check out potential living situations in about 12 to 18 months. That's when I'm hopefully will be able to retire.
Yeah. So you're looking at potentially moving full time to the Philippines?
Absolutely.
Cebu is top of your list?
Cebu's top. I'm actually going to Dumaguete tomorrow to look at Dumaguete for about a week.
Yeah.
But I think Cebu City is really, for me, everybody, I'm from the United States, so Mark Langford, a friend of mine, told me this years ago. He said, everybody that comes to the Philippines needs a certain amount of America in terms of comforts. And everyone's different. For me, I feel, I don't know if I need, but I feel more comfortable in a high-rise, nice, modern condominium that has 24-hour security, that has an infinity pool, that has a fitness center, and that's in kind of a cosmopolitan city area. But again, in Cebu City, we're only an hour away from Boracay and a lot of other places. Bohol is only,
And as many people will probably know already, there is more of that America in Cebu than there would be in Dumaguete or Boracay, for that matter.
Very, very true.
So if that's important to you, Cebu can rise to the top of your list.
Yeah, all of the high-rise condos here have backup generators, for example. So if there is a typhoon that slips through, there was one here, I guess last year or 2 years ago, and my friends that live in the nicer condominiums didn't miss a beat. They just went on. Everybody else outside was struggling, and power was out. And it's something to consider.
I guess some people will also say you can get that in Manila, in parts of Manila.
Absolutely, you can. Manila, like for
BGC,
me, Manila is Makati is a very safe area. That's the safest, in my opinion, part of Manila. And I've been there a number of times, but for me, living the traffic is just too much. It's over the top. And it's expensive. That's the most expensive part of the Philippines.
Cebu is still a big city, but it's a little more relaxed than Manila.
Yeah, a little more
less hectic.
Less hectic, and you're still getting a deal, when you travel around the world from a wealthier country.
And plenty of places to visit close to Cebu if you want.
The proximity, I think, is fantastic. Yeah, proximity is great. It's, we have an international airport here, and the ferries are here. You can hop on a ferry to Bohol.
Yeah, the airport I see is a big plus. The airport is international. It works very well, but it's also very manageable.
Absolutely.
Compared to Manila Airport, which is a little chaotic.
It's chaos, and I think we were talking about this the other day. The culture of Manila is a little harsher. It's a little New York City. It's different than, it's softer here in Cebu.
So
in my
branching
opinion.
out of Cebu City, are there places on Cebu Island that you have visited?
Well,
or
I haven't been up
recommend?
north at all. I want to go to Bantayan Island. I haven't been there yet.
Bantayan.
That's on my list.
I was there in May, actually, yeah.
And
Nice.
I've heard really good things about that. I've seen some videos on it, talked to you about it. That's
Yeah.
on my list, but I haven't branched out a whole lot.
Yeah. So you can
I've
go
been to
little-
some of the resorts on Mactan Island, and they have a couple of nice beaches. I went to the Hilton years ago, and it's called the Movenpick, I think, is what the name of the new
Yeah.
resort there. So it's beautiful.
Yeah, yeah, there's some nice condos over there too. If you
Yeah.
want condo living in a quieter environment, then Mactan, Yutan is definitely a possibility.
Absolutely.
Cebu is still within striking distance, like outside of bad traffic, I guess 30 minutes in
Yeah.
a taxi. If it's bad traffic, it can be more like 1 or even 2 hours if it's
Yeah.
really bad, right? But they have some nice resorts in Lapu, which is where Mactan, Yutan is. And
For
beaches,
sure.
Yeah. And building more.
Yeah.
Building more high rises, building more resorty type places, I believe. Yeah. What about whale watching? Have you ever done that? Or
I haven't been
whale
down to Oslo. I haven't been down there yet.
swimming with the whale
Swimming with
sharks?
the whale sharks. It's
Yeah.
I've heard good things about it. I just haven't gotten down to do it yet. So there's so many things to do that a lot of people don't realize that this country is giant. I mean, there's what is it? It's over 7,000 islands,
So exactly, 7,000.
and you could spend oodles of time just exploring everything here. And there's places in the mountains. There's places out and about, out in the outskirts that you could go to. We have I have a lot of friends that take motorbike trips up the mountains and into small towns. And I'd like to do those things once I get settled here. I think
Yeah,
that
yeah.
right now I'm just focused on, okay, what's the price
Yeah.
point of this condo, and what kind of features do you have? And
Right, right.
I'm sort of on a gathering expedition here
Yeah, yeah.
of concrete information for future living.
And I think you're looking at renting initially, at least.
For me, I am. Yeah,
Down the road, who knows?
yeah, down the road, who knows? I mean, but I think a 6-month lease, which you can get here right now, pretty comfortably, is what I'm looking at initially.
Yeah, yeah. And ballpark, I think rentals here are small. A 1-bedroom, maybe 50 square meters, is going for anything between, from what I've seen, anything between 25,000 and 50,000 pesos a month. That's
Yeah, and you could get it.
$500 to $1,000 per month.
You could absolutely live very well
For a
that way.
reasonable building.
Yeah, for very nice. And you could also do an efficiency for
Yeah.
$350 a month
Yeah.
over at IT Park. We have a friend, Asia Unscripted, that lives over there for $300 a month in a very nice efficiency. And a lot of people are paying HOAs for $300 or more back home.
Oh,
So it's the dollar goes a long way here, and it's very affordable,
yeah.
I think.
Awesome.
Such a man for different work, and his heart was no to none. He left his home and went his lone solitary way, and he gave to me a gift I never can repay.
Okay, 2 other things that Brian here recommended to me. One was this hotel. And right now we're sitting in a condo, which is on top of the hotel. A Hotel Quest.
The Quest
It's like your
Hotel.
home from home.
I've been staying here for over 10 years, and it is outstanding. It's just it's right in the heart of the city here. It's in a very safe area. It's across the street from one of the premier malls, Ayala Mall, that has everything.
That was
And,
my next thing I was going to ask you about, was Ayala Mall, because those are 2 things, I think, which you originally brought to my attention. Quest Hotel, Ayala Mall, which probably everybody's heard of, but it's for real. You come
it
here,
is.
you wander around the mall. It's a great mall, that's the starting point, but then you also have this lovely outdoor area, which they call the terraces. And it's just really
It's wonderful.
nice
Yeah.
to hang out there drinking a coffee at Bo's Coffee.
Fantastic. And it's relaxing. It's safe. It's the security here. I think I've never had an issue with crime or being, being attacked or anything like that. It's just very safe here.
Yeah.
And if you're ever coming to Cebu, this would be a nice place to explore, in my opinion.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's affordable too. The Quest Hotel is not that expensive for what you're getting. I think
It's What are the odds? About $50
Yeah,
per
it's like
night.
$50 a night, and this would be
excluding breakfast.
Yeah, this to me back in the United States, this would be 4 times that. You know,
Yeah.
so that's what really you're getting here for your dollar.
Classified as a 3-star hotel, but actually it seems better to me.
I think
than
it's 4.
here,
I think
you know.
it's a 4. I don't know how
Yeah.
they classified 3, but
Yeah,
I agree.
It's the formal classification. Yeah. Now, what about the ladies? You mentioned that that's not your primary interest, but I guess a lot of people are
if
thinking
you were
about
coming, you know, if you were looking for a wife, this would probably be one of the best places to come in the world.
Mm-hmm.
There's something about the Philippines that I have seen over the years. Age is respected and looked up to.
Mm-hmm.
And frame of reference, life experience are really given high priority here by the Filipino people.
Yep.
And I was at a wedding a number of years ago. A friend of mine, I think he was like 68 at the time, and he was marrying a Filipina that was 25 years old.
Oh my gosh.
And
That's-
at the wedding, you didn't have a lot of people saying, "Ooh, look at that. That looks like it's a bad age gap." Instead, you had people saying, "Wow, this guy has life experience. He's owned several businesses. He's mature." So that's really what the pulse, which is completely different than in other parts of the world.
This is very interesting, as it's not so far away from my current situation.
There you are. Yeah.
But yeah, I can agree. People, they don't bat an eyelid. Really.
No, it's fine.
people,
It's and that's certainly attractive to men,
Yeah.
to us men here, and
Yeah.
you know, yeah.
One, by the way, we mentioned my Ayala Mall and putting that together with the ladies, and it's not always politically correct to call them lady boys, but that's what people call them here. But Ayala Mall, walking around, if you sit there outside Bo's Coffee or you're just walking around, you will inevitably run into some ladies or lady boys, both actually, who are looking for your attention. And
True. You have to be aware of that.
They're good for a conversation sometimes, you know. Yeah. Yeah. Anything you want specifically want to bring up before we?
Well, one thing for anyone that has never been to the Philippines, I would recommend, and if you're thinking about retiring here full time, I certainly recommend a trial trip. You know, come here. You know, if you're coming around the world from the U.S. or that part of the world, it does take a couple days of travel when you consider lag time, waiting around in airports.
Yeah.
It's going to take you a couple days to recover. The jet lag is real, and if you're flying economy like I do, you stumble off the plane after being on that. However, with all that said, I'd recommend doing at least 2.5, 3 weeks here if you can. It's hard. It's not the type of place you can just swing in for 5 or 6 days. So, and you really have to get a sense of the culture here. Kick the tires, see if it's something for you, and before you end up selling all your possessions, your house, and some people do that, sight unseen, but it's not for everybody. There are challenges here in the Philippines.
Oh, for
You
sure.
do have to bring a high dosage of patience.
I was going to. I will second that. Patience is a great attribute here. You know.
Yeah, it really is. And everyone is on Filipino time. We're used to more concrete acting over in the United States, but not here. There's lots of delays.
Leave your New York attitude back in the States. 'Cause
There you
it
go.
will not work here.
Yeah, it doesn't work, and but you have to realize even with all that here, it is a wonderful life in my opinion. I have spent quite a bit of time in the country. I've never spent over 6 weeks here at a time, so I haven't lived here yet, but I've been here enough to see the good and the not so good. And it's still the good far outweighs, in my opinion. It's a wonderful lifestyle here. Call me crazy, but I love amazing waterfalls and beautiful beaches and a place where you can live for $1,500 a month all in with a comfortable American lifestyle.
Okay. Again, I'm going to disagree a little here. $1,500 a month.
Depends where you are. Depends where you are.
There are always discussions about what you can live on in the Philippines.
And it depends how you live, of course. But in general, $1,500 to $2,000. You're not going to be able to do that in the nice part of Manila. But again, in Cebu and Dumaguete, for sure, Dumaguete I think is about, I'm going to see shortly, but it's about 25% less than Cebu. So your dollar really goes a long way. There's a reason why Fortune magazine always includes Dumaguete as top 10 retirement destinations in the world.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it depends how you live.
Yeah.
And, you know, we haven't even talked about having a security account. You know, you can't just come over here with that. You've got to have, have an emergency fund and so forth.
Sure,
too.
yeah.
So,
Yeah. Okie doke. Well, I guess that's probably time to wrap it up there. Thanks for coming on for.
thank you for having me on your
Brian.
channel.
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
this, and I love I've been following you for a long time, and you always have interesting topics that you're reporting on. I
Well,
hope this
one
was
more
okay.
interesting one here. Yeah. And Brian has so much more to talk about. We've only touched the surface here. But it's been fun getting to know him. Brian was responsible for me originally coming to
great.
Cebu and the Quest Hotel in particular, and discovering Ayala. He pointed me in all those directions at a time when I was kind of floundering a bit, and really worked out well. So I'm very thankful to you for that. And that's how we ended up back in Cebu right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Can reconnect
The
it.
whole thing kind of snowballed, and then we finally managed to meet here in person, which was nice.
It's been fun. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brian.
Welcome.
Over and out. By the way, I didn't ask you, but do you want to leave any?
I have to think through that one. Are we still on?
Well, I'm just going to cut
Okay,
this out.
okay,
So
okay.
I'm still rumbling. But I'm not going to broadcast this. Yeah.
I hope that was okay.
No rules. Yeah.